Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own comic book store for all of your city building needs. And just before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please do hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very much, and try and watch as much of this video as you possibly can, because that helps just as much. But without any further ado, let's get started. This is the amount of space required to make your comic book store, an 18 by 14 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you are planning out a city. I'd always recommend. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your store. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. If you've made the grid, come all the way to the front left-hand corner of it and count backwards 1, 2. This is where we're going to get things started. Place 2 green concrete going right. 1, 2. Place 1 extending backwards. And then place 6 upside down smooth quartz stairs going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a green concrete on the end, extend forwards, and then to the right. Then we want to leave a gap of 2, or alternatively, we can extend up by 3. 1, 2, 3. We can then go right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we can extend down to the ground. Then, on the ground, we want to extend to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to extend up by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I then want to extend left 1. And then I want to grab the smooth quartz slabs. Honestly, it'd actually be better if we had full-on smooth quartz for this, but it's okay, we can improvise. Smooth quartz will be better though. And in front of this block, we want to place a smooth quartz block, 2 to the left of it. We then want to extend the second block up 1 and down 2, 1, 2. Then we want to create a shape here. So above this, we want to place red concrete, but below the quartz row, we want to place 2 yellow concrete on the left, extending down. Extend the bottom block to the right with a blue concrete block above, just like this. If you like, you can extend the top row of these blocks 1 row backwards, because it kind of creates like a 3D effect. So you'll be able to see kind of just from the sides, like it just looks a little bit more like a sign, a little bit more 3D. And the reason that you might want to do that is because when we extend this green concrete here across and down, because it should just connect all the way back to where we first started, just like this, you can see that that is like the top of the roof here, and we just have kind of like the sign just overhanging. It just looks a little bit better, I think, with a bit of a 3D effect. So, moving beyond that, we want to create a sign. So there's going to be a large sign that literally we're just going to write comic books. Actually, it might be better if we kind of just get the window made first of all. So the window, there's actually 2. The first window is on top of the upside down smooth quartz area. We want to place 2 rows of glass on top of this window with a row of green concrete on top. We then want to, in front of this row of green concrete, we want to place alternating white and magenta walls extending forwards. We want to have 2 rows of this, so one in front of the other just like this, and then we'll have a carpet row in front of this in a bit. And on the right side here, we basically just on top of the green concrete, we don't have upside down stairs here, we just want to have 2 rows of glass, just kind of like this. And this is about as detailed as this gets. Like, we want to place green concrete. We kind of then want to just like fill all of the gaps in with green concrete. It's actually probably easier from the back, because we want the inside of the store to look normal. We don't want to have like weird bits of like wool and stuff everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure that we want to have green here as well, left and right of the window, but we can adjust that in just a second when I get a peek at the inside. But from the outside looking in, this is what we want to have, and it looks pretty good. So when it comes to the sign, I'm not sure whether I like quartz for this, because quartz is a little bit brighter, or white concrete, so you can do either. But starting above this white concrete block here, so I reckon actually then that we might have to extend the, so we're going to have to extend the wool one row further out again, because I want there to be a level of depth. And I want to start on top of this wall here, and I want to have enough space to write comic books with a space. And I think that that means that we need 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Stopping one row short of there. We want to have 11 rows of smooth quartz. And we want to have 2 rows of this. Now, if I wasn't so stubborn, I would have taken out the smooth quartz a long time ago, but we're persisting with the slabs. So this is what we want to have so far. I'm also going to dig in the ground in front of the comic book store. You can see that I've already, on the left and right of the comic book store, I've already added a little bit of a path, but that's something that you can integrate into your city as you see fit. I'll talk about that in a little second, but underneath the window, I think that underneath the smooth quartz, I think I'm going to make it green concrete, and then the sidewalk, the pathway, the walk-em-a-bob, whatever you want to call it, I call it a walk-em-a-bob, then that is all going to be smooth stone. So the reason that I have smooth stone here on the left and right of the comic book store is because, of course, I have nothing to the left and right of the comic book store. All of these builds are independent. But if this were a city, you guys know how cities work, this would probably be pressed up against another building, like literally to left, to the, what am I talking about? Left to the left to the left. It's almost a Beyonce song. Anyway, these buildings would be like joined together, so there would be no need for a path. So that's why it's not included in the base plan. So this would be next to, like a barber's or something, like whatever you want it next to. So that's also why there's very little details usually on the left and right sides of these city builds, because they would be more than likely pushed up against another building. Anyway, I'm wasting time. So, we have to make the left and right sides of the comic book store. This is quite easily done by extending the left and right sides backwards by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The left and right side of the comic book store wants to be as high as the top of the store, meaning the green concrete area. So, on the right and the left, we simply just want to extend these rows backwards. We then want to connect them together at the back. That's pretty much it. There's a... I feel as though that I'm making it sound like there's more. There isn't. You literally just extend it backwards like a box, and then connect it together like a box. Just big giant green rectangle. That's all there is to it, really. So once we've done this, we'll see what we've got in the next line of materials, because that'll give me a clue as to what my next plan was going to be. So now that we've kind of like just joined it all up together, let's have a look. So we've got stairs here. Oh, because we swapped that out from the... There we go. So let's get rid of all these materials for now, although I'm sure that we'll need them again. And we have string, white carpet, magenta, black concrete, spruce fence gate, item frame, spruce trap store, not moose trap store, book, oak planks. Can you tell I've not recorded in a little while? Can't even talk. So, we have 2 signs out in front of the comic book store to advertise comics. So, we're going to place a black concrete here and here. So, left and right of the large window, 1 row off the floor, with spruce fence gate underneath. This is a common design of mine, by the way. Spruce trapdoors riding up the left, right, and top sides of what we've created. Item frame, and then whatever it is you would like to advertise inside of there. I know that there's a name for these things. I don't know what it is, but, you know, kind of just like a standing advertising sign is basically what these things are. So here, that's perfect. Sometimes you would even have things written in them, so it would be appropriate to put a sign and write something in there if you wanted to. Okay, next up, we want to have extending out from the, I guess I'll call it a canopy, extending out from the rows of walls, we simply want to have the same carpet that the carpet equivalent to the wall that is behind it. So if that makes sense, we just want to extend the canopy one row over just using the carpets. It just looks a little bit better this way. Okay, so next up, we are going to make, and I think that we're going to have to, no, we don't have to sync this one row backwards. We are going to adjust the inside of the store. So we're going to dig out all of the floor inside of the store, and we're going to place oak planks. The reason that I'm using oak planks, because I've been off oak planks a little bit, is because I just want it to feel a little bit warm and cozy inside here. Like, I don't know why, but like particular like comic book stores and stuff like that, it just feels as though that, it just feels like a warm place. I mean, maybe I'm projecting, I don't know, but it just seems like a nice warm sort of like interesting, like at ease, chilled out place. Like that's what it feels like to me. So hence why we're going for a more homey vibe using the oak planks. But if you wanted to, you could use, you know, quartz and much more commercial materials that I think about, like whenever it's like fast food and stuff like that, and like places that are supposed to look nice and clean. I always think about like some sort of quartz variant. But for this, it doesn't seem like it has to be that way. It seems like oak planks would actually be just fine. So, I think that we're at the point where we can't put off the sign any longer. You guys know how I feel about signs. Not the movie, actual signs. So, we'll also clear up a couple of things as well. So, we'll grab the green concrete with this, dark oak door, loom. We'll also need light blue glass, and then we'll do the sign actually. So, the door is exactly where you might imagine. It's where we have this big hole here, and it's going to be a double dark oak door. I know, it's dark oak doors again. I love them. We're going to have glass above the doors, like this. And then, I think I'm just going to jump ahead and we're going to see what I did. I'm pretty sure that I added a frame of green concrete around the door like this. Not so much on this left side, like this left side here. Just going to grab the light grey concrete. This left side here is kind of like a display. So we're going to have light grey concrete just like this. And then we're going to have some lights built in here. And then basically the roof, I'm going to make light grey concrete. And the roof is going to be one row below the top. So I kind of like want it sunk in a little bit. So a little bit of light grey concrete, just one row away from the top of the top of the walls. And we're also going to have some redstone lights, which is not something that I typically do, but I don't want that to sound fancy. I just like the style of them because they feel, once again, kind of like a little bit homey. So this is what the inside wants to look like so far. It is a little bit bland, but this is exactly it. This is perfect. So this sets us up rather nicely. If you wanted to, I mean, you can. Nah, just leave it like that for now. Okay. The sign. We don't need these materials anymore. We can pretty much just grab the loom, white banners, white dye, black dye, and that's all we need at the moment. So let's throw the loom on the ground. Probably get rid of it out of our inventory, and we can start with our first letter. So the first letter, I don't know why I've literally just on my plans went to the sign. I don't know why. I think I can figure it out. So the first letter is going to be C. So white banner, black dye, horizontal row across the top, the bottom, vertical row of black on the left. Boom, C. Next would be O. So, O. So we want a vertical row on the left. We want a vertical row on the right. Horizontal across the top. horizontal across the bottom. Boom. O. Next, we want to have M, which is very, very tricky indeed. So we want to have a triangle extending down from the top. Grab that, throw that back in, throw the black die out, throw the white die in. We want the 3 little mini triangles at the top now. Grab that, throw the white die out, throw the black die back in. Vertical row of black on the right, vertical row of black on the left. Boom, we have M. Next is one of my favourite letters to make. It's I. And all you've got to do is a vertical row, just straight up the middle. Boom, I. Next would be C, but we already have one, so we don't need to do that. So, we're moving on to B, which is basically looks like an 8 actually. So, vertical row of black on the left and right, and then a horizontal row across the top, bottom, middle, boom, there is your O, commip. That's the word that we have so far. Then we would need 2 O's, but we already have O's, so that's fine by me. We can just reuse those. So we're going to make instead K. That is a vertical row on the left, and then 2 diagonal rows, but just both of the diagonal rows. Like, it doesn't matter which one you do first, as long as you get both of them. Boom. Komebik. That's probably a Russian word. Next, we need to have S. Can one of my Russian subscribers please confirm or deny? Is Komebik a word? I hope that that's not a bad word in Russian. Anyway, so black. For S, we need a diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right corner. Grab that, throw that in. Then a horizontal row of black across the top, and then the bottom. And there we have Komebiks, which is, of course, the plural version of Komebik. Which is probably... That has got to be a word in some language. Come on, somebody's got to tell me. I might have to Google that myself. Anyway, so, let's do this. We've got our sign. All we literally have to do is write comic. So, C-O-M-I-C, space, B-O-O-K-S. Boom, comic books. Easy as that. Nice and simple. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned this yet. But now that we've kind of done this, this is loosely based on the androids dungeon from The Simpsons. I don't know whether any of you guys will have got that or not. I'm sure it'll be in the description and the tags and stuff, but I wonder if you guys noticed. It's sort of similar-ish. It's definitely, you know, it's got that sort of vibe. Okay. Let's come in now. So, inside of here, we've got a few things that we can do with the materials that we have. So, I want you to grab light grey concrete, blue concrete, smooth quartz stairs. We're going to also grab some green concrete, and then just let me flip over. We'll need the bookshelves, purple concrete, and smooth quartz slabs, item frames, and books. And then after that, we'll probably need to grab some more stuff. Plus, it's sort of dark in here, but hopefully it's light enough that we can see. So, step 1. Directly to the, right of the door. So, walk in, green concrete of the door. I want you to, on the back of the build, so following along that line, I want you to place a row of light grey concrete. It only has to be 3 rows high, but it wants to be opposite the door. Extend the light grey concrete another row forwards. And then we are going to place a row or 2 rows, or 3 rows actually. 3 rows of bookshelves to the right of the back row of light grey concrete. We want to create a shelf using smooth quartz slabs, leaving the top row of the bookshelves exposed. Leave a gap of 1 between this light grey concrete and then place a blue concrete. Destroy in the floor going right of this. Replace it with blue concrete. Place upside down quartz stairs on top of that. And there we have kind of like this is basically just like a till area, kind of like, you know, this is where the cash register would be. By the way, you can use a quartz stair for that. And that's all you have to it. So this is where you would pay for your comics. Imagine doing such a thing. You could even have a couple of comics laid out on the actual till area if you wanted to, using item frames and books. Leave a gap of 2 between these 2 rows of light grey concrete, and then we want to have the exact same thing, just built directly to the left. This is going to be a display case for some really cool armor. We also want to create, so just behind this window here, we're just going to place like a couple of blue concretes with some books, so item frames with actual just books in them. We want to create kind of like a little bit of a, I'm not sure if bargain bin is the wrong word for this, but kind of just like, I mean, you could even literally make it a bin. I'll show you in a second. So just a 2x2 square of green concrete, and we're just going to put books all the way in this. And then if you wanted to, you could surround it using spruce trap doors. That might actually improve it a little bit, and you can still walk around because I'm pretty sure that you can walk in this little gap here. I'm sure you can. Yeah, there we go. And it just kind of looks like a little bargain bin of comic books, maybe, I don't know, discontinued series and stuff like that. So now that we've done that, we want to focus on the opposite side. We're just building a little bit of, we're just kind of like framing the build here. Directly to the left of the entrance, by the way, so to the right of the entrance, we kind of like planned all this, but to the left of the entrance, we want to have 3 rows of 2 bookshelves, just like so. And then we want to grab the green concrete, and we want to have a row of 1, 2, 3 green concrete extending right, stick some item frames on top, books inside. Along this back wall here, we want to create kind of like a shelving unit again. So in the corner, 1, 2, 3 green concrete. And in the opposite corner, 1, 2, 3 green concrete. The middle of these, we also want to have another row of green concrete. And we should be able to place rows of 3 bookshelves in between the green concretes, just like this. And then we want to take the middle of the bookshelves and we want to leave just a gap of 1. And then we want to place rows of 3 purple concrete. So leaving a gap of, actually 2, my bad. So 2 rows of 2 purple concrete, just like this. And then rows of 3 bookshelves extending from the purple concretes, like so. And then purple concretes on the end. And we're just creating shelves, that's all we're doing. And then if you want to decorate these shelves a bit more, you can place item frames in the top parts of the shelves, and you can place books there. Or you might be satisfied with the fact that they are already just books anyway. I mean, they're bookshelves. I mean, it's up to you. It depends what you think looks better or worse. We want to have a shelf along the back here. This is just going to have like random stuff on it. Actually, there's going to be 2 shelves. So basically leaving a gap of 1 between the light grey concrete, we're going to have a row of 2 slabs, gap of 1, 2 slabs, and then we'll just have random stuff on here, but just a couple of item frames to accommodate this. As a matter of fact, we have to drop these shelves 1 row lower because we're going to have the ceiling. So it'll be here and it will be here. And then we want to have these, because we're actually going to build a ceiling in here, and we're going to put some lights, of course. So a couple of item frames here as well inside of this cabinet. I'm trying to see if there's item frames that we want to place anywhere else, because I don't want to have to whip out the item frames again, and I don't think that we're going to have to, unless you want to place like item frames on this shelf here, and maybe some books, but I'll kind of like leave that up to you. So also in the ground here, I think that I'm just going to kind of like connect this together. So I'm going to destroy these 2 light greys and I'm going to connect that together, and we're going to leave the inside of the build at this for now. You see, we're going to get rid of all these materials and we're going to grab some brand new ones, and then we're going to finish off the build. Not that there is much left to do, but we've just got to put a finishing touch on this place. So let me just get rid of all of this stuff, and then we can grab some new stuff and we can finish it. Okay, so to finish up, we are going to need all of these materials right here. Plus, we're going to be grabbing some armor and some different weapons and stuff, but just for the base of this, because you can choose your own armor and what have you, so I've not included it yet. I'm going to grab that as I kind of do it, but this is what we actually 100% need. So I'm going to start off with chisel, quartz block of redstone lamp, light blue shulker box, red shulker box, enchantment table, lectern, chest, and book and quill. So first things first, we have to make the ceiling. So I'm just going to start off by taking the 4th row, which is basically everything above what we've been placing inside of the build. So you know how we've kind of got like all of these bookshelves and stuff kind of like built up to the left and right of us, and kind of like the display case and what have you. Just directly above this is where the ceiling is going to be, because I don't want like mega high ceilings, because as I've mentioned a few times before, probably more than a few, definitely more than that now, I want it to feel nice and cozy in here, and big giant ceilings just don't seem to go with that. So we're just going to completely make the ceiling white, because it does make it feel a little bit spacier, but not too spacey. You could even make it light grey if you wanted to, but anyway, regardless. So we now want to install some lights. I'm going to install, where do I want to put lights? One light definitely like right in the middle, in between these two shelves here. So like right in the middle of the shelves. So redstone, lamp, boom. And then that's actually sort of bright enough, right? Like it doesn't have to be too bright in here. I'm quite happy with that. And then if you wanted to extrapolate this, then we could come all the way over here, and maybe we could just place like a light, maybe... There's not really a center of the yeah, there is. It's right there, actually. So I guess kind of like in the middle here. So it would be there. Maybe we could have just another light in the ceiling here. And then that'd be just fine. I mean, they don't have to be symmetrical and what have you. I'm quite happy for it to just be kind of like there and there. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's just kind of like right in the middle, just above like where you would pay and where you talk to the cashier and stuff. So I'm actually quite happy having just those lamps there. I also want some like in the display case. So in the display case, where the display is actually going to be, I just want to have a couple of lights, and that is just going to illuminate that just in the floor. You could even have them like in the window here as well. So this is a window display, and I'm going to have some armor stands in here. So you might directly, like above where the armor stands are going to go, you might want to have a set of lights. So I'm quite happy with that as well. I'm going to use shulker boxes as decoration. So a light blue shulker box here just behind the counter, and a red one just here on the shelf. Enchantment table, same thing. It just looks like something sort of cool. You could even have it like on the ground instead. A couple of lecterns next to that. A chest, maybe another chest up here. It just looks, you know, it just looks a little bit messy, but it also looks a little bit comic booky, especially because there's an actual floating book here. If you want to, you can place books and quills on the lectern. I don't know why I'm crouching. A book and quill on the lectern. It looks as though that somebody's reading a comic book, or it's on display, or something like that. It's only just occurred to me that that'd actually be quite a cool display to put inside of a display case, because it'd look like a specific issue of a comic book, right? Like it'd look like an actual like important comic. So I don't know, but that's up to you. You can have that in there or not if you want to. A couple of lecterns by the window here. Once again, you can place comics on those as well if you want, or rather book and quills. I'm going to keep the book and quills out. Actually, I'm going to be a bit all over the place here a little bit, but I'm going to need now chests, crafting table, armor stand, lantern, some paintings. We'll get all of those placed. White carpet, redstone repeater, beacon. So in the window here, I've mentioned a load of times already that we're going to have armor stands. So I want them specifically to be facing out of the window, and I want one on the right and then one a gap away from it. So the armor stand's going to be here and here, and I'll just destroy the entire window. I'll replace it in a bit. So I want a chest in the window as well, a crafting table also. I mean, you can even hang a lantern if you want to. I know we've already got lights, but you can hang a lantern if you would like to. I'm going to have armor stands in this display case as well. I guess that they're being powered by the... Hang on. There we go. We'll just put them right. There we go. That's better. the purpose, I mean, you can have like a lantern just kind of like just about the place if you want, just kind of like on the top of a bookshelf. The reason that we have the redstone repeater is because it looks like something, you know, I mean, maybe off to the side it'd be a bit better. It looks like a thing, some sort of like cool collectible or what have you. Same thing for the beacon, it just looks like a cool sort of collectible. The reason that we have the carpet is just to place in between these two bookshelves here, just to brighten it up a little bit. I want to have more lecterns. Lecterns are going to be placed here. Might even have like a chest as well, just in this corner here. If you want, you can place book and quills on those. I'm not going to bother. I want to have a load of posters, like air quotes on posters. So I need to just move the paintings and the green concrete together a little bit. So just along here, I just want a load of like 1x2s. So probably kind of like in equal measure. What I mean by that is like, there's only like two. There's like the guy in white, or the guy in black as I call him. And then there's like Pinocchio. So that's perfect. That actually worked out perfectly. So I just want that series of paintings just along the left side here. A load of paintings. I kind of want a load of paintings here because, of course, there'd be loads of advertisements and stuff. So maybe like one here, here, something like that. You know, just it just sort of looks like posters advertising something. So that's what I really like. I might even have a little bit of white carpet. No, because we can't actually place it because of this, so no white carpet. Or maybe we could have a little bit of white carpet just behind the till. Maybe just extending it out in front of the display case. I don't know, just to add a little bit of flavour. Or not, I don't know if I like that, but maybe definitely behind the counter. I think that that's okay. And then, when it comes down to it, I mean, there's not really too much more to add. Like, it's feeling nice and cool and homey inside here, so we've got to fill in these item frames. We've got a few item frames to fill in, and I'm figuring weapons would be the coolest thing to put in here. So, like, you know, a netherite sword, a trident, a bow, a crossbow, you know, something like that. So maybe like netherite sword, trident inside here perhaps, a bow, crossbow, just something cool. And then we've got to fill in the actual armor stands as well. So what I'm thinking is just diamond armor and netherite armor. If you want to put something different inside here, absolutely feel free. If you want to outfit them with different stuff, then you know, you do you. You could even make them look like video game characters, or possibly like cartoon or comic book characters in some sort of way. Like if you really wanted to get creative with it, you could start dyeing leather armor and maybe try and go for, I don't know, like a Superman sort of thing or a Spider-Man sort of thing, you know, something like that if you wanted to. But I really like this. This looks pretty cool. I mean, the netherite armor looks like actual fictional fantasy armor anyway, so all we've got to do is just replace the windows. So I think I want to use a regular, just good old glass block for the display case window, so just like this. And I don't know whether I want to put like I don't know if you can place tripwire hooks on glass. I actually think you can. So maybe just like a tripwire hook on the display case. You could even place a couple of buttons. That might look a little bit better. This is just something that I thought about now. Maybe just a couple of buttons just along the display case, maybe? I don't know. It makes it look a little bit more reinforced, I think. Maybe just along the top, because we've got the carpet there now. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, if you wanted to add a little bit more carpet, you could. If you weren't bothered about the trapdoors here, then that'd be fine. I don't know if the carpet's even worth it, to be honest. Maybe if we added a bit of green to it. Or red. No, not red. No. So maybe here. Here. You know, just add a bit of green to it. Maybe it just softens it a little bit. Looks a little bit less out of place. But other than that, I'm actually very happy. Like, this is this is how I like that. Like, this feels like a jumble sale, and I like it. Like, this is perfect. I don't know whether you guys have ever been in like a proper like comic book store or what have you, or a place that sells like comic books and just like you know, just I don't know what to say, collectibles, toys, you know, like different card games and stuff. Like, this is how these stores feel to me, and I really like the feel of this. Just like a nice, big, messy, warm, just cool place that, like, it almost feels like, you know, just somewhere that you can explore. Like, I just love the vibe of this. So this is what your comic book store will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed making this as much as I enjoyed designing and making this video for you. If you have enjoyed it, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Specifically, the City Builds playlist. That is pretty much what I'm focusing on at the moment. I love doing city builds, I love designing them, I love growing a city, and hopefully you guys do too, and that is where you want to be, the City Builds playlist. Thank you so much for watching, I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!